Surprised, it was not Jude Bellingham but Pedri who made Toni Kroos say he is the best midfielder in the world in his position. And that praise did not come from a pundit in a studio, it came from a living legend of Real Madrid, a man who faced Pedri head-to-head in countless tense El Clasico battles. If anyone had a reason to be biased, it would be Kroos. But he was not. When a Real icon openly recognizes the brilliance of a rival, it is not just a compliment, it is validation. In elite football, praise from an opponent always carries weight, especially when it comes from someone who has played at the highest level, understands tactical nuance, and knows the rhythms of the game inside out. And Kroos is not someone easily dazzled. He once praised Florian Wirtz, saying Germany had waited a long time for gems like Musiala and Wirtz. But those were words of hope for the future. With Pedri, it is a different story. This is praise for the present. Kroos called Pedri the best in the world at what he does. He described him as a mobile solution, a player who can simplify the game through intelligent movement and effortless execution. It was not about goals or assists. What impressed Kroos most was Pedri's ability to control the tempo. He is not just a chance creator, he is a stabilizer. You only realize the size of the void when Pedri is not on the pitch. For Kroos, top-level football is not always about drama. Sometimes all it takes is a well-timed touch or a precise pass to maintain control. And in a system built around game control like Hansi Flick's Barcelona, Pedri's an essential piece. Kroos was especially struck by his skill in tight spaces, those suffocating zones where one extra touch means losing the ball. Pedri consistently escapes pressure in areas that feel unplayable, and Kroos, who spent more than a decade thriving in those same tight pockets, knows exactly how difficult that is. I used to think he was not that fast, Kroos recalled. Then he started dribbling. I kept waiting for him to make a mistake, but he didn't. Everything he did was surprisingly smooth. He is not explosively quick like Messi, but he is still fast, the kind of fast that comes from incredibly fluid movement. That is a crucial observation. Kroos was distinguishing between physical speed and processing speed, something you cannot clock with a stopwatch but which is invaluable in midfield. When Kroos placed Pedri in the same sentence as Messi, it was not about comparing status but acknowledging style. Pedri does not shout for attention, he does not play flashy, but he breaks through pressing lines with ease thanks to his graceful body movement, smart positioning, and razor-sharp decision-making. It is a kind of quickness you may not see, but every defender feels. This is a kind of pace that demands thought over muscle, and not many young players develop it as early as Pedri. The fact that Pedri, who has conquered every major tournament, offered such clear, direct, and personal praise proves the deep respect he has for the young man from Barcelona. And even more telling, Pedri was the player who unintentionally injured Pedri at Euro 2024 with a direct challenge. After the match, he was the first to apologize, and Pedri accepted. From a tactical perspective, Toni Kroos continued to emphasize Pedri's central role at Barcelona. In his view, Pedri is even more important than Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, or Lewandowski. The attacking stars may decide the outcome of a match, but they can only shine when there is someone like Pedri keeping the rhythm behind them. In Hansi Flick's possession-based system, Pedri is the conductor, the glue that connects every moving part on the pitch. Starting from the 2024 to 2025 season, Barcelona entered a phase of transformation. The team moved away from relying on individual brilliance and focused more on structure and cohesion. In that picture, Pedri stands at the center. Flick did not fix him to one position. Sometimes he plays as a left-sided midfielder in a 3-4-3 formation. Other times he drops deep as a regista to dictate the play, and occasionally he pushes higher to lead the press. But no matter where he is on the field, Pedri always does the same job, maintaining rhythm and keeping the system flowing smoothly. Even Hansi Flick did not hesitate to admit it. Pedri is an irreplaceable player. He loves the game, and it is a joy to watch him in any position. Kroos put it more succinctly, but just as powerfully. When Pedri does not play, you can clearly feel something is missing. In a lineup full of attacking stars, for a central midfielder to receive that level of recognition shows that Pedri's impact has gone far beyond a traditional tactical role. Pedri does not pass the ball with flair or flash. His touches are minimal, yet extremely efficient. Every move he makes has a clear purpose. He helps Barcelona stay in control, manages the tempo, and minimizes the risk of being hit on the counter after losing the ball. That is exactly what Hansi Flick valued most in the midfielders he once coached for the German national team. And now, he sees the same qualities in Pedri. And there is one statistic that speaks volumes about the Spanish midfielder. Pedri has recovered the ball more times than any other player across the top 5 European leagues this season, with a total of 232 recoveries. That number is rarely associated with a creative midfielder. But it proves that Pedri is not just good at orchestrating play, he is also willing to drop deep, battle for possession, and provide defensive support from the middle third, a trait essential to any team built on control. In an era where football is dominated by pace and physicality, Pedri goes in the opposite direction. He does not sprint past defenders or overpower opponents with strength. He stands out through composure, smart positioning, and the ability to dictate the rhythm of a game. It is that contrast that makes Pedri so unique in a Barcelona side still undergoing reconstruction. In a match filled with speed and pressure, Pedri always provides a point of balance. He holds the team's shape, preserves structure, and guides the tempo. Very few young midfielders can consistently play with the level of intelligence and game understanding that Pedri does. And that is precisely what makes him a rare kind of player, one to be closely watched in modern football. Pedri possesses it all: consistency, tactical awareness, adaptability, and a complete influence on his team's style of play. This season, his name has been mentioned frequently in individual award discussions, including prestigious honors like the Ballon d'Or. Even with many other stars shining brightly, Pedri's inclusion in that conversation proves that his subtle contributions have not gone unnoticed. And if praise from someone like Toni Kroos is a reliable standard, then Pedri is surely approaching the highest level, the level of the very best in the world. Instead of highlighting strength or speed, Kroos chose to talk about Pedri's dribbling. That says everything about how highly he rates the young midfielder's technical skill and confidence in one-on-one situations, traits few players in their early 20s truly possess. The former Real Madrid playmaker spoke candidly about what it was like to face Pedri directly. Toni Kroos, who has played at the very highest level for over a decade, does not hand out compliments lightly. So when he called Pedri the best midfielder in the world at his position, it was not empty praise. It was recognition from one of the sharpest tactical minds in the game, a man who dominated the midfield for Real Madrid and the German national team for many years. Kroos knows exactly what it takes to be truly elite in that role.